2023 NFL Draft coverage on Keon Sports is brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Founder of Hinckley Roofing, Steve Walkuski Sr., with years of roofing experience, moved to Hinckley, Ohio in 1958, the home of the Buzzards. Steve is looking to build a company driven on service, quality, and integrity. Hinckley Roofing is a family-owned and operated business serving the northern Ohio area since 1958. Mention Keon Sports when you call for a 10% discount. Got you covered Medina, with everything from blinds, custom bedding, and shutters to shades and drapery. They have it all. Check them out online at www.gotchacovered.com/Medina or call them at 330-446-3647. That's 330-446-3647. TNT Construction. TNT Construction is a private family-owned construction company located in Berea. TNT provides residential and commercial remodeling, construction, and building services to clients in Cleveland and all of Northeast Ohio. Pulp North Olmsted. Hey North Olmsted Eagles fans, former NFL player and Eagle alumni Matt Rothram wants to see you at Pulp North Olmsted. This delicious and healthy meal phenomena is exactly what North Olmsted needed. From wraps to bowls to smoothies and everything in between, this is the perfect healthy option for the person on the go. Stop in and taste for yourself at 27650 Lorraine Road in North Olmsted. The store is at the corner of Porter and Lorraine, right around the block from North Olmsted High School. Stop in before the game this week. And JBL Roofing and Construction. JBL was founded by the Lewis family of Kent, Ohio in 2005 to provide residents with a reliable, professional, and high-quality level of service. Fast forward to today, JBL Roofing and Construction has become one of Northeast Ohio's most trusted roofing and siding companies, performing the highest quality of work on over 3,000 roofs and projects. It's time to talk about the top 3 tight ends in the 2023 NFL Draft. And before I talk about the top 3, I want to talk about this position group first. There's a lot of talent, top few prospects here. Really, the top 5 guys I really like in this class. I think they could be impactful tight ends for many years to come. It is one of the groups that lacks the least amount of depth. It's certainly a thinner group. It's why I only put together a prospect list of less than 10 guys, because I don't think it has the depth of many of the other position groups. But still, I really like the talent here at the top. Again, I'm Cole McDaniel. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening here on the Keon Sports YouTube channel. Or finally to the skill position players, as I started with the defense this year and then working my way through the offense, got done talking about the offensive line over the course of the last 2 days. Tight ends today, wide receivers coming up tomorrow, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But let's look at number 3 here for my rankings at the tight end position group. And number 3 is Dalton Kincaid, coming out of Utah. Kincaid was a highly productive tight end in college with some of the top pass-catching skills in this entire class. In addition to his solid hands, Kincaid is a great route runner, and he manages to work the whole field, something you can't always say about guys at the tight end position. He has no issues creating separation and also displays some excellent body control. Kincaid is a willing blocker, but not a great inline blocker, so again, that limits him maybe a little bit with some of the reps you'll see him get in the NFL. Schematically, you might see teams need to line him up more lined up almost like he's in the slot as a receiver or outside like a receiver, just take advantage of that receiving ability rather than, again, putting him with his hand in the dirt. He might still be a bit raw, which is hard to believe with the way he plays football, but Kincaid is newer to the game than a lot of these other prospects. Picked it up a little bit later in his life than a lot of the other guys, so plenty of room for him to continue to develop, continue to learn in the NFL. He's another player that should get plenty of reps as a rookie, whether he's the number 1 tight end or the number 2 tight end on a roster. I like what he has ability-wise. If he can develop as a blocker a little bit more, that would be huge. They can continue to add to his route tree and what he can do in the NFL. Kincaid might really see the sky as the limit. My player comparisons for him, Dalton Schultz, as well as Jeremy Ruckert. And starting with Schultz, I think Schultz has that movement, that frame that's similar to Kincaid and vice versa. And Jeremy Ruckert, I think, certainly Ruckert's a better blocker. I'm not comparing them in that aspect, but I think Ruckert's hands, his receiving ability, matches up with that receiving ability that Kincaid has to have the body control to make some really impressive catches, maybe some more athletic catches than what you see from a guy like Dalton Schultz, who's a good receiver himself still. My projection for Kincaid is he's going to be a late first-round player, maybe second-round guy you'd see at the beginning of day 2 if he's not selected at the end of the first round. Again, tight end might be a position where you see 1 or 2 guys go in the first round. Kincaid certainly has the argument to be the second guy to go in the first round, but if not, like I said, he'll be at the beginning of day 2. Best fits for him, Kansas City. If Kansas City wants to bring in the guy to be the future after Travis Kelce is gone, because Kelce, in his 30s, getting up there in age, still dominant, but you could bring in Kincaid as your number 2 guy in that offense. That might be nice to get him going, help with his learning curve. Jacksonville could be a nice fit there. Trevor Lawrence, really coming into his own as the starting quarterback in Jacksonville. You just give him another weapon in Kincaid. Miami would be a nice fit. Mike Gesicki is now gone, so they have an opening there at tight end that Kincaid would fill well with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, other receivers stretching the field, and would give Kincaid room to operate. And my wild card is Las Vegas. Now that they have moved off of Darren Waller, Kincaid actually could fill a very similar role. Waller was not much of an inline blocker like Kincaid, more of a receiving tight end, and Kincaid, that's exactly what he is. McDaniels wouldn't have to change much with the system if he brings in Dalton Kincaid. At number 2, I have Sam LaPorta of Iowa. LaPorta is higher on my draft board than where most others have him. So again, this might be one of those surprises that you see from me each and every single year. But he was Iowa's top receiver, their biggest offensive threat by far. Now, Iowa had a struggling offense. It was a subpar offense that sometimes struggled to score. Actually, not sometimes, more often than not, they struggled to score last season. But regardless, he was a big playmaker and an excellent route runner. So LaPorta can really run routes well because he's clean out of his breaks. And he is another guy who's a threat at every single level. Maybe doesn't have the same athleticism as Kincaid, doesn't move quite as fast, a bit more of a traditional tight end compared to Kincaid, but he has all that ability. Fantastic hands, is very mobile, and it couples well with his vision and his ability to run after the catch and make people miss as well. He's a great blocker with nice leverage, which gives him added value as an inline blocker. I think he could add a little bit more play strength. And if he does so, he may just terrorize the league if he ends up on the right team where they utilize a tight end. My player comparison for him is he's David Njoku. David Njoku, a guy who, after he gets the ball in his hands, he's a tight end who is more of a threat than most others to show that run after catchability and pick up some additional yardage. And I think LaPorta can do the same thing. Njoku also a guy who's improved on his inline blocking. You've seen him become a better blocker more and more so for the Cleveland Browns. LaPorta already has that skill set. My projection for LaPorta, second to third round player. He's going to be a day 2 guy, without a doubt. Best fits for him, New England. Now, at this point, he would be the third tight end in New England because of Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki. But New England, with the running backs that they have, Ramondre Stevenson, as well as bringing in James Robinson, maybe they will want to run some 3 tight end sets. LaPorta could be a guy to be part of that mix. Tennessee would be a nice fit there. I think they can add to the tight end position, develop for the future, add another pass catcher. So I like what Tennessee has already at tight end in Chigoziem Okonkwo, but I think LaPorta could be another nice piece with the Tennessee Titans. The Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers, they really need to improve at the tight end position. Gerald Everett was good last year, but I think they can take their game to a whole nother level at the tight end spot and really give Justin Herbert a great target. Not only that, but also if you have a good inline blocker, it's going to help that offensive line, clearing up space in the run game, which is something that the Chargers can continue to improve in. And then my wild card team, the Los Angeles Rams. I think they can continue to step it up at that position. Tyler Higbee, I don't mind him. I think he's an average tight end. And certainly when you're average at a position, it can hold you over for a certain amount of time, but you want to get as good at a certain position as you can, and that's really all across the field. And I think LaPorta can maybe take it a step up with the Los Angeles Rams. At number 1, this is the number 1 tight end for anybody out there, and I don't know of anybody who hasn't called Michael Mayer of Notre Dame the number 1 tight end. He is undisputedly that top guy in this class. He possesses the really excellent size that everybody wants at a tight end, the strength that everybody wants at a tight end, and he is, without one single doubt at all, starter ready in the NFL immediately. He has soft hands combined with good ball skills, and he's a reliable target, especially over the middle of the field. He's a willing blocker and has some pop when he makes contact with defenders. He might not be the most athletic tight end or a genetic freak or anything along those lines. Does not have tons of speed, and he does not create a lot of separation on his routes, but he is one of the best tight end prospects in the last 5 years. I mean, anything that he does it well. Is it seamless? Is it lights out, above and beyond? No, probably not. There are other guys out there who are better at this or better at that. But when it comes to an overall well-rounded game, piecing everything together, that's Michael Mayer to a T. Like I said, I like his run blocking ability. I like his pass catching ability. I like his ability in open space after he catches the football. Tough to bring down. I think he is a guy, like his player comparison, could make a difference in your fantasy football leagues. He's going to make a difference for the team that he's on. Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is a guy that physically he is similar to. Mark Andrews doesn't wow you with his athleticism, but he's a really good tight end. And Michael Mayer is just that. He's going to be a first-round pick. I don't know exactly how early he'll go in the first round. Would be surprised if he goes inside the top 15. Really think between 15 and 25 is a nice sweet spot for him, where he's coming onto the board for the best available prospects. There's certainly some teams that need a tight end in that range. I don't necessarily know if anybody's going to trade up to get him, but certainly some of those teams that are behind others that need a tight end might look to trade up to try to snag him. My best fits for him, even though this team probably doesn't have the best chance to land him because I don't think they're going to jump on it that soon, he'd be a good fit in Detroit. I think he'd be another weapon on that offense, but I don't think they'll pull the trigger that early. Green Bay would be a nice fit, especially after they lost Robert Tonyan. He went to the Chicago Bears. They could add him, give Jordan Love, who seems like he's going to be the quarterback there for the Green Bay Packers, give him another target at tight end. I think also Mayer would fit into that cold weather scheme quite well. Cincinnati would be a really nice fit. Hayden Hurst no longer there, so tight end, one of the top needs for the Cincinnati Bengals. And my wild card is Dallas, especially if Dalton Schultz ends up in a different spot, a different location. Then Michael Mayer could be brought in, and Michael Mayer has some Jason Witten-like similarities, so the shoe would definitely fit for the Dallas Cowboys to select Michael Mayer. That does it for the tight end rankings here for the 2023 draft. Like I said, wide receivers, one of the biggest groups in this draft, coming up tomorrow. Make sure to pay attention to the article as that drops at the same time as this video on KeonSports.com. Of course, as always, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button here on the YouTube channel and set your notifications so you know exactly when the video comes out tomorrow as well.